So, welcome everybody. Welcome to our August photo meeting. I want to thank you all for being here because I was checking around to see what was going on this week, and tonight at Riverbend, there's a concert going on right now. It's and the band is Five Fingers Neck Punch, Death Punch. Yes. So you had your choice of being there and you came here, so I appreciate that. Yes. So I'm gonna do. This always hates me. So again, I think most of you know me. I'm Valerie Niemi, chair of FOTO, and we've got Mike Brown, who is our secretary. Bonnie is our treasurer, and I think that's it for officers here today. So if you have any, Dave Poole, sorry, thank you. Dave Poole is our FOTO COC rep, as is Craig Niemi. So if you have questions, concerns, suggestions, we're the people to talk to, and we'll see what we can implement. So let's see. So I think I'm seeing some new faces here today. So anybody want to acknowledge that? Tell us how you found us. No, no. Sure. Go ahead.
I was coming with my dad.
That works.
I sent her the newsletter. She saw the topics.
Great. So that's how we suck you in. That's the idea. So there was somebody else? Yeah.
I want to say this for you. We are brand new members. It's for birthday, so that's what I got.
Great.
There you go.
Good. All righty. So, of course, I'll go backwards. Let's try. Any kind of committee reports from our COC reps? I know the board meeting's coming up on Wednesday.
2 days now.
Okay. And do we know the agenda or anything, or?
We have seen the
We have, okay.
There's nothing really that. I mean, I'm learning a lot more about what's just happened.
Okay. So we will stay tuned for that then.
I wanted to say as a question.
Yeah.
That they do with it. Is it the scope out here?
I have not heard.
I think I've
I thought it was
heard.
planned for the 19th. Number 19th September. Cool. That's what I heard.
Okay.
September 9th.
And with that, I think we can go into the Bossy report. And I will do that in your way there.
Okay.
Oh, and you know what I didn't do?
No moon, but rain.
And there's the mic.
Clip that on me.
Yep.
Oops. I should have it nearby.
Yep.
We'll try that and see if it works. Okay, I'm a little more organized this month, even more organized than last month. So I have my 2-page report that I'm going to go over, and I printed off some copies of this. So on the way out, if anybody's interested in getting any more of the details of the dates and times of things, I printed off 12 copies. So after 12, you have to go home or something. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. Where's Linda? Linda, you were asking last month about the buck moon. The buck moon. Yeah, that last month's full moon was the buck moon, and that's the 1 to 2 year old bucks start sprouting their 1 and 2 point antlers, the racks. They can grow as much as an inch a day in July, so that's all of a sudden these bucks have antlers. So it was the buck moon. Now this month's full moon August 28th, the end of August, is the sturgeon moon. That there's an Algonquin source that the sturgeons became very easy to fish this time of year because ordinarily they're bottom dwellers. And I guess when the water gets warm enough or whatever, they come up towards the surface and they're a lot easier to catch. And it's a very, very, very strange fish. If anybody's ever seen a sturgeon. And there are some huge sturgeons. The Pacific great sturgeon is upwards of 800 or 1,000 pounds. It's like 8 or 10 feet long. Huge fish. Let's see, as far as the moon is concerned, we got a new moon August 12th, and all kinds of fun things happen with that, like a solar eclipse. And the full moon on August 27th, there's all kinds of full things that are associated with that, like a lunar eclipse that we can see from Cincinnati if the weather cooperates, which then there's a new moon on September 10th. So I do move into September because the way we stagger these meetings. And still talking about meteors. It's still a good month for meteors, even though it hasn't been very good. Canadian fires or rain have taken care of most of our skies. But the Perseids are still going on. The peak is actually Wednesday night to Tuesday night into Wednesday, and the early hours of Wednesday morning. Theoretically, a zero zenithal hourly rate of 100 to 90 to 100, which would be fantastic, except that we'd never see that in Cincinnati. We would see maybe half of that. But even 40 or 50 meters an hour would be impressive. But it's supposed to be raining, so I don't know what that's typical for Cincinnati. Let's see, that the opportunity is wasted really, because the new moon is also the night of or the afternoon of the 12th. So it's going to be a new moon, dark skies, full of Canadian smoke. But that's only one major shower this month, and it's the Perseids. But it's the biggest shower of the year. It ramps up for 7 days, ramps down for 7 days. So there's plenty of opportunity for even well, tonight, no. But Friday, Saturday, if the weather clears up, seeing some Perseid meteors. But after midnight, you have to get out after the radiant rises. There's also 5 minor showers going on this month. They have zenithal hourly rates of like 3, 6, what's this one? 5, which isn't real great because again, you divide that in half for Cincinnati if it's clear. Even at Stone Lick, it's going to be, as dark as the skies are out there, they're not necessarily dark enough to see perfect conditions, because the zenithal hourly rate is scales for a moonless dark sky with the radiant at the zenith. Very few of the radiants actually go to the zenith. So take half of that for Cincinnati, maybe less. Okay, and just for grins, we're talking about the Eta Aronids, that's it. The Kappa Cygnids, the Aurigids, the September Epsilon Perseids. It's a separate meteor stream in September, and it comes out of the constellation of Perseus. And then we have this September Lynxids of the constellation of Lynx. That's hard to pronounce. And then as far as weak showers are concerned, there's 4 of them going on. Pisces, Draco, Eridanus, and the Cygnids. But each of those have zenithal hourly rates of less than 2. So they're just like part of the background. And a couple of them are, well, the moon's not going to be favorable for some of them. Keep in mind that the background rate is 2. That's what the International Meteor Society talks about. But in July and August, because there's so many of these other weak showers and even the minor showers, that background rate goes up to about 5, which means it's really about 2. Let's see, other observations or not? Observables or not? We got a total solar eclipse on August 12th, 12:30 in the afternoon, which makes sense, but you have to be pretty far north to catch it. It starts over in Siberia, cruises up past the North Pole, comes down through Greenland and Iceland, and ends up in Spain at the end of the day. There's the Spanish part anyway. They get, no, not unless you want to go to Iceland.
I want to go to Scotland.
No, sorry, it misses Scotland. A few years back, or maybe I should say a few decades ago, in calculating where on Earth eclipses can occur, because the generally recognized value is that about any place on Earth has a solar eclipse, total solar eclipse, about every 200 to 400 years. Okay, but that's depends on where you are. It's biased towards the tropics, so the polar regions very seldom get eclipses. This is one of the rare occasions. And I loosely came up with a calculation about every 2 million years, the North Pole or the South Pole will see a total eclipse. In 2015, there was almost one. The shadow was just like a half a degree south of the North Pole. This is about 3 degrees south of the, no, south. Well, it has to be south of the North Pole, doesn't it? It's towards the east. What's very interesting about this particular eclipse, because, you know, I get amazed by all eclipses. At the time of year, we're just a little bit past the solstice, and so the Earth is tipped sideways, or actually towards, has been tipped towards the sun, and the time of day being noon at Cincinnati time, it's about halfway across the extent of the eclipse. The Earth is turned about like this, so the path goes over the top of the Earth. And if you look at any of those goofy little maps that shows the path of the totality, it goes up and it goes down. It comes out of Siberia, goes up past the North Pole, and then down past Greenland and Iceland. So it's curiosity. The partial lunar eclipse on August 27th and 28th, it starts at like 11 p.m. and it goes on till about 1 something in the morning. It's a very nice eclipse, magnitude of like 0.93. What that means is that the center of the disk of the moon, or the center of the disk of the moon misses the center of the umbra, and it actually just grazes the umbra and leaves a little bit of the penumbra illuminated, about 93% darkened during the eclipse. So it should be a really nice eclipse to watch. Again, it starts at 11, 10 after 11, and it ends at 1:13 in the morning. So it's a comfortable nighttime. August 27th, what kind of day of the week is that? Does anybody know?
Thursday.
That's a Thursday, okay. I'm retired, so I don't care. There's a comet out there, if you've got the telescope for it, comet Tempel 2, discovered in 1873 by Ernest Wilhelm Leberecht Tempel. He discovered a half a dozen comets or so, and it's a very nice periodic comet. It's what they call one of the Jupiter comets. It has an orbital period of 5.4 years. So it comes around every so often. So we're quite familiar with this comet. But it went through perihelion on the 4th of August, a few days ago, at about magnitude 7. And since then, it's been fading. It's about magnitude 8 now. And by the end of the month, it'll be down around magnitude 9. So this is not a binocular kind of comet. But if you've got a small telescope, 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch Dob, you'll have no trouble nailing down this comet. And there's plenty of information on the web about exactly where to find it and how to look for it. There's a planetary lineup on August 12th, that same night, about 1 hour before sunrise, if you're still up hoping for Perseids. They make a big deal of this, and it's not such a big deal, but Jupiter, Mercury, Mars, Uranus, Saturn, and Neptune they're not lined up this way in the solar system. They're lined up across the sky. Happens all the time. But they're making a big deal out of it. Certainly Uranus and Neptune are not naked eye, but Jupiter, Mercury, Mars, and Saturn, about an hour before sunrise, about 6 a.m. That's on August 15th. Venus is going to be at its greatest eastern elongation. And this is something to learn about Venus. It's 46 degrees east of the sun, which sounds like a great distance, but the shape of the ecliptic, how it meets the horizon these days, is very shallow. So even at 45 degrees or 46 degrees away from the sun, it's still only going to be 17 degrees above the horizon. And once it goes through greatest eastern elongation, basically Venus has been chasing the Earth for the last like 6 or 8 months. And once it gets to the greatest eastern elongation, it's going to zip and pass the Earth and disappear in no time. We're talking about 9 weeks. It's going to be gone. So if you can catch it in the evenings, it's the brightest thing you can see in the southwest. It's just going to zip right down to the horizon over the next month. The crescent moon on the 14th is going to be 4 degrees away from zenith. Very young moon. The moon will be closest to Venus on August 16th at 2.1 degrees. And then Venus is in conjunction with the sun on October 24th. So that's not very long. Let's see, Moon and Spica are going to get together on August 17th, but it's going to be at 7 a.m. So really the sun is kind of going to be up. So it kind of ruins that. The Moon and Antares are going to be really close, about a half a degree apart. But setting, let's see, the 2318, but they're going to be setting about that time. 2.4 degrees at 9 p.m. and then due south with an altitude of 20 degrees. So you can catch it. Antares, the heart of the scorpion, right, is going to be pretty much in the deep southern sky this whole month. And the moon's going to go cruising right past there. The moon's going to barely miss the Pleiades at 7:03 in the morning. Again, the sun is up. But at 6 a.m., the separation between the moon and Pleiades will be 1.3 degrees with an altitude of 66 degrees. So it's going to be pretty high up in the sky an hour before the sun comes up. Moon and Mars are going to be 3 degrees apart on September 6th, but it's at 1:30 in the afternoon. Okay. If you've got the right equipment, not sure what that is. A little too much daylight. On September 7th at 5 a.m. to get an early morning riser, we've got the moon and Castor and Pollux are going to be lined up. That's going to be kind of a pretty sight. But again, you got to get up early to see that one. Or if you're still up looking for Perseids, you can do that too. Let's see, the moon and Jupiter will be less than a degree apart on September 8th at 1:13 in the afternoon. But at 6 a.m. that morning, it's still dark at 6 a.m., they'll be 4 degrees apart with an altitude of 14 degrees up in the sky. So, but next month, the moon is going to occult Jupiter. But I don't think we're going to be able to see it. I'll have to tune in next month. The moon in Regulus. Regulus is the closest bright star to the ecliptic, and it gets occulted by the sun or by the moon regularly while they have their seasons. There's about once four really bright stars that are close enough to the ecliptic, to actually the moon's orbit relative to the ecliptic: Regulus, Antares, Spica, and Aldebaran. And they will repeat monthly as they get a close call, and then finally the moon will occult the object. And then it misses for a little while, and then it goes away for like 9 years. But these are monthly occurrences, and they can last for years, whether it's in season or out of season. Out of season is when the moon is missing the object. In season, when the moon is occulting the object. Moon and Spica are finished. This last one, and this is really amazing. They're going to be finished until 2062. We won't see the moon occulting Spica for quite a long time, if at all. The moon and Antares are also winding down their season. They'll run through August of 2028, and that'll finish that season off until 2042. The moon in Regulus. Regulus sits right on the ecliptic, so it catches the moon rising past the ecliptic and setting past the ecliptic on the nature of its orbit. And it runs through November of this year, but then it's finished until 2036. So you won't have to listen to my silly occultation descriptions monthly once we get out of this year. The moon in Aldebaran is out of season now and will start again in 2033. So there's really only a handful of stars. Now, there's plenty of stars in the path of the moon. It's just that they're not necessarily bright. So I'll see if I can come up with a list of dimmer stars, because watching the moon occult a star is really cool, especially if it's like one of the quarter phases or a crescent phase that you can't see the edge of the moon, but you see the star blink out, and then an hour later it pops out the other side. Okay, so this month's constellation challenge. This is all based on October 17th or August 17th at 9 p.m., which is after dark. But Ophiuchus is going to be, it's one of the largest constellations out there, but it's a difficult constellation to work with because it's, it's near the Milky Way center, so it's got some interesting stuff going on in it, but it's large and it's empty of bright stars. So it's very difficult to get a star hop pattern to find some of these objects that are in Ophiuchus. M10, M12, M14 are in the body. Those are not so easy. They're out in that vacuous area in the middle of Ophiuchus. And they're at magnitude 6.5, 7, and 7.5. So they're as bright as any of the stars that you're going to find in Ophiuchus. M107, M9, M19, and M62, magnitudes 8, 7.9, 6.8, 6.5, very attainable, are closer down towards Scorpius, the bottom part of Ophiuchus. And they're easier to get to if you get to Antares, and you can star hop up to the northeast and find some of those objects. But you need a good star chart to make any of this work. On Wikipedia, you can get a hold of the International Astronomical Union maps that they did with Sky and Telescope, which I'm pretty sure were done by Will Tirion, which means they're really good maps. And you can find a star hop pattern to get to these objects, either with binoculars or a small telescope. And still here, we have Hercules is very high up in the sky. The M13, one of the brightest and largest of the globular clusters, magnitude 5.8. So it's not quite naked eye, but unless you get really way outside of Cincinnati. But certainly at Stone Lick or a pair of binoculars, will just pull that guy right in. 83 degrees up in the sky, so it's almost straight overhead, and it's due south. The Summer Triangle. It's easy to find. The galactic plane runs right through the middle of the triangle. So if you can find Lyra and Cygnus and Aquila, Deneb, Altair, and help me out here. Vega, that's it, yeah. Fourth brightest star in the sky. Don't even, And it contains all sorts of good stuff. You just get in Cygnus and follow the neck of the swan down. You're going right down the galactic plane of the Milky Way. Sagittarius and Scorpios are still up there, but they're going to be moving off to the west. So this is the time of year to find them. To due south, just south of Ophiuchus. So if you can find Ophiuchus, you can find Sagittarius and Scorpius. Actually, it's more easy. If you know where Sagittarius and Scorpius are, you can find Ophiuchus.
That's my constellation.
Which one?
My birthday.
Ophiuchus? Oh, yeah.
So when people do the zodiac and say, what sign are you? I go, Ophiuchus.
That's right.
Well,
You-
well,
You're
that's
an
what it really is.
Ophiuchi.
Ophiuchus.
And of course, don't forget Delphinus, my favorite constellation. Not much going on in there, except it's cute. It's the best way to describe it. 38 degrees east-southeast. You'd find Altair, and you just go a little bit east, and there's Delphinus, and it's a cute little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star constellation. It's little. It's one of the smallest constellations, so you can cover it with binoculars in about 10 or 15 minutes. And that's it for tonight.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Appreciate it. I'll print your team for Mike.
Whoops. Whoa. Where'd it go? There we go.
There we go. You can have one of those. Thanks.
And again, there'll be
Mike.
stapled copies of this available after the meeting.
Yep. Thanks, Dave. Okay, so we do have those copies. I've got those here, and I'll put them out front so you can get them at the break. We'll put that. Well, we're talking about things you can see. I've got the mock-up of the 2027 observatory calendar. So if you all want to take a look, they should be ready, I'd say probably the end of the month. So just so you have an idea, and take a look at some of the names on the back, because you may recognize some of those names. So for those of you who don't know, these are all pictures done by amateur astronomers who belong in one shape or another to the COC. The pictures aren't necessarily taken here because some people's homes have darker skies than we have here. So, but it's a great little calendar.
How much is it?
It's usually 15. I think about it's in the neighborhood of $15. I don't know if they're changing that or not. And again, our future presentations, nothing new here. Just a reminder that next month is our picnic, and we'll have John Ventry with his meteorites. And just so you know, so assisting him will be Terry Endress, who will be giving our October program. So we'll have a lot of good stuff going on here. And just bring up, so for those of you, speaking of John Ventry, if any of you are interested in the history of the observatory, this is our Bible. This is the reference we all go to. The paperback has just come out, so we've been checking. You buy it yourself on Amazon. We're not pushing it here, but if you do buy it, I will say we can probably get one of the authors to sign it for you, so you can have an autographed copy. So paperback just came out. It's $100, and the hardcover depends. It says about $125. If you look the like new kind of things, you can find it for less than the paperback. So anyway, that's all on Amazon. Just wanted to give
Going to the moon.
just give you a heads up. Something we've been doing at the executive planning meeting is the idea we want to have a movie night here for everybody. So the date is tentative. We're shooting for Saturday, October 26th. We have to clear it with the observatory, of course. It'll be afternoon, early evening. The movies we're doing is from 1902. The first of these movies, A Trip to the Moon, said it was a French film, and we found a colorized version of it. So it's neat. It's about 15 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes. And then we'll have Destination Moon. So two great movies to get started. We're not going to do any charge for the movies, but we'll have a donation jar out for buy the snacks and that. And when we get the dates confirmed, we are going to ask for RSVPs just because we have limited seating here. So just keep that in the back of your head. And talking about the picnic, so that'll be on the 14th, starting at 6:30. Again, this will be in the information when I send out a recap of everything. FOTO's going to provide the grill, the charcoal tables, chairs, and basic condiments and things like that. We'll have some drinks. If there's a particular favorite you have, you can certainly bring that. For you, said you bring your meat to grill or whatever, your favorite picnic food, and a side dish or a dessert to share. And I do have a sign-up sheet, one so we can get an idea of how many people we want to get some of the meat for, and also so you can put down if you wanted to bring anything, then we have an idea, so we can keep the brownies down to a dozen instead of like 15 or 16. So I will start passing that around. If this doesn't make it all the way around before the end of the meeting, if you just want to bring it out front here, and we'll continue it out there. And what else do we have here? Upcoming classes. Sure. So you can check on the observatory site for upcoming classes. The Nancy Grace Roman Telescope, I think, is scheduled to launch coming up the end of the month. So that'll be an interesting, I know they're going to have a talk about that. So that'll be really great. Let's see what else we have. Stargazes out at Stone Lick. We've got August 15th, September 5 and 12. So I didn't hear back if they're doing anything special for the Perseids or not. So check their Facebook page because they always send out messages there. So you'll be able to find out for that. And of course, no reservations for that. Just show up. You can bring your own telescope, or you can use the ones that other people have brought. So it's a great sharing time. And Alcon, I won't bring up much about that. That's coming up. We do have people signed up to work almost all of the sessions that we have. Again, if you're just going as a layperson, it's going to be a great event. And if you want to sign up, give a little time, we're to work one of the tables here. So we've got some spots open and we can take that. If you have any questions about that, see me at the break. Let's see. Yep, and you've got that. So that's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then one of the things they're doing is on Friday is they're going off campus from the Marriott, and they're doing a tour here at the observatory, 2 different tours. So that'll be interesting. They still have some spaces left on that. The first group is sold out, and they've got about 20 spaces left on the second group for that. So that'll be, if you're working Thursday, we're gonna help push signing up for that. Let's see, planning. Oh, I shouldn't let Craig work on the slides for me. The Niami Astronomical Sanctuary is basically our house. So for those of you who aren't off in Iceland or Spain or anywhere, and you would like to come to our planning meeting and work on things like movie night, stuff like that, we're more than happy to have you out there. And I think with that, we can go ahead and take our break, and we'll get Sarah set up. She should be logging in. She should be in here already, so we'll get things all switched up. Go ahead and take 5-10 minutes, and we'll get back in here and work with Dr. Herbst.